I hate to say it, but I had to learn the hard way that people can be unbelievably cruel, especially in high school. One moment you think you're just living your life, and the next, you're the target of someone's jokes, or worse, their sadistic entertainment. My name's Myra Lawson, I'm 16, and I live in Havenwood, California. And let me tell you, I've been through the ringer. It all started on a dull Tuesday during gym class, an ordinary day where I thought I could just run laps and maybe chit-chat with some friends. Then there he was, Josh, the classic school bully. He thought he was hilarious, sprinting past me, laughing like a hyena, then stopping in my way as if he owned the track. In a split second, he looked straight at me, all smug confidence, and then shove. Just like that, I was on the ground, tears of frustration stinging my eyes. I stood up, refusing to let him see me shaken. He started chasing me again, louder this time, saying something about me being too slow. I yelled for him to stop, but of course he didn't listen. My anger boiled over, and in a moment of reckless impulse, I swung my hand and nicked his lip with my knuckles. He lost it. "What the hell was that?" he spat, unbelievably offended, and before I could even apologize or defend myself, he snatched my glasses right off my face. I lunged at him, shouting for him to give them back. I wrapped my hands around his hoodie, but he shrugged me off like I was a little kid. "You're so weak, Myra," he scoffed, storming into the boys' bathroom with my glasses held over the toilet. My heart pounded. He couldn't be serious. "Let me slap you," he demanded, grinning as if he held all the power. My gut clenched, but I refused to beg. "Go ahead," I said defiantly. "If you drop them, you'll be the one who has to fish them out." For a split second, he hesitated. That's all I needed. I turned my head, trying to appear indifferent. In that instant, he took advantage of my distraction and slapped my face hard. The rush of humiliation was overwhelming, and like a reflex, I spit right in his face. What followed was a chaotic flurry of claws and shoves, a fight breaking out over the toilet, an embarrassing skirmish in front of the whole school. I ended up pushing his head right into the metal handle of the bathroom stall, and I could hear the crunch of his teeth breaking under the impact. We both ended up suspended for 4 days. When we got back, it was my turn to pay him a visit. I'd had enough of Josh's games. While he was away from his backpack, I slipped into his corner of the room, my fingers shaking with anticipation. There it was, his wallet. I didn't want any cash, that felt petty. Instead, I ripped every dollar bill into pieces and tossed them into the trash. I imagined his face when he found that mess. A small victory, but oh, it felt good. Then came the cooking class, a class where I thought I'd be safe from the madness. I was just scrolling through my phone, minding my business, when Noah sauntered in. He was in the special ed program, but that didn't mean he had a license to be a jerk. Without a word, he kicked my chair, a childish grin plastered across his face as if we were in some juvenile competition. "What the hell are you doing?" I asked, startled. "Move, you're in my spot," he said and gave me another kick just for fun. I sat there, astounded. How hard could it be to use your words? The next day, it was déjà vu. He waltzes in, sees me in his spot again, and begins the whole kicking charade once more. Frustrated, I kicked his leg, and wouldn't you know it, he whined about me tormenting him. "Shut up and use your words," I snapped back, fueled by anger and a desire to stand up for myself. But he kept kicking. I lost it. In a moment of pure rebellion, I spat on his leg. It wasn't my proudest moment, and I knew it, but it made him freak out. He ran out, crying. That landed me in the principal's office for a 2-day suspension. Somehow, Noah didn't face any punishment, and that's what burned me most. I could hear the voices of the staff murmuring about how he has special needs. It didn't feel special to me when he was terrorizing my space. Then came the incident in Spanish class with Mr. Garcia, a teacher who just seemed to have a vendetta against me. For no good reason, he started lecturing me about my grades, as if I didn't hear that every day. He kept going on about how I wouldn't get into college and that I'd end up working at a fast food joint if I didn't straighten up. I stared at him, taken aback. Was he serious? Finally, with the weirdest grin on his face, he said he'd punch me in the face but would regret it afterwards, making it clear he thought that was a punishment I somehow deserved. The nerve. I looked right into his eyes and spat on his arm. "You're pathetic," I said, returning to my work. Of course, that got me sent to the principal's office again. I was used to it at this point, just a part of my routine. I walked in like I owned the place. I got a day for that one. I had to apologize, but hey, at least I got to see that look in his eyes, a mix of shock and anger. I realized something through all those incidents. People could be monstrous, but the real trouble was how little they got what they deserved. I'd spent so much of my life trying to be invisible, and despite moments of retaliation that satisfied a deeper urge within me, I found it wasn't enough. That day in gym class felt like years ago. I was an underdog, and I wanted to rise up. So when I found myself back in the principal's office for the umpteenth time, I knew I'd had enough. I started documenting everything. Every time someone pushed me, humiliated me, or belittled my worth. The little victories, the petty schemes, the rip of dollar bills, and the spit on my teacher's arm. I saved it. I kept notes. I waited to strike back, slowly letting it build until I could unleash everything I'd been through. I wrote letters to the school board outlining all of Josh's bullying and Noah's interference in class. I detailed Mr. Garcia's threats, every act of aggression, every apathetic glance. I wanted these people to face consequences for their actions, to feel the weight of the oppression they had levied on me, and more importantly, to watch as I gained my power back. By the end of the semester, I had everything together. I printed out the letters, along with witnesses who spoke of my side of the story. I scheduled a meeting with the principal himself. I walked in, head held high, no more being the victim. I outlined the unjust treatment I had received, the teachers' biases, and how so many kids like me were suffering quietly and having no one to turn to. Weeks later, I learned that Josh had gotten pulled into a meeting, another round of discussions about his behavior. I smiled, a dark satisfaction settling deep in my gut. Noah's skirmishes were being noted too. As for Mr. Garcia, the school board took my complaints seriously. They implemented sensitivity training for staff, addressing the way they interacted with students. I had a sense of closure blooming inside me, a sense of justice that had been so long in coming. Throughout this entire experience, I realized that I could stand my ground. I could fight back, not just with my fists, but with my voice. No more would I let people define what I was worth, or let others take the brunt of what they dished out to me. They had no idea who I really was, and now they were learning. I was no longer just Myra from Havenwood. I was becoming the voice for anyone who had to endure the same pain I had. I was finally rising, and best of all, I was damn proud of it.